Hello and Merry Christmas. Got my Christmas cup going. It's Christmas morning. It's 8:27 here in Omaha, Nebraska. And I thought I would just go ahead and say hello. I don't know if I'll do live later. I'm starting at noon. I will have a live feed with my family out in California, and we'll see from there. I just want to say hello, acknowledge a gift that I received from someone in the BC in New Zealand. So, hope you're all doing okay, and sincerely, have the best day that you can, whether you are celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah or not. Kwanzaa, I think, starts today or tomorrow. Yule is on. Or if you have something else that you're celebrating, make it good. Make it good. Hope it's a good day. I will say that they started kind of typical for the holidays. There's always tragedy. I went to bed early last night and this morning see that I got a couple of calls. And one is from my cousin Leroy. Some of y'all remember my cousin Leroy who stayed with me earlier this year. 84 years old. I had him here and we talked on camera for a little while. He lost his wife last Sunday. I hadn't heard from him, but I got a call from him last night, but I had already gone to bed. So I returned the call this morning to find out that his wife had passed away. And it's always like that. Of course, life is doing this regardless of the date, but it's poignant when it's around the holidays. So spent some time with him on the phone this morning. Not much I can do. He's in Minneapolis, but he did say that what he's probably going to do in the spring is do some traveling. He was with his wife for 50 years. That's amazing to be with someone that long and to get along and to be in love the whole time. I talked to her on the phone. I never got to meet her. And so that's a regret. It's unfortunate. But he's talking about, they were tied at the hip and she's gone. So he's talking about doing some traveling in 23 and asked, and I said, of course you can come stay with me, Leroy. Of course you can. Let me know. So, speaking of music, my friend Blake was over again yesterday having a Christmas blunt, and it was good. And while he was here, the mailman brought me my mail, and there was a package from New Zealand, from Andrew. I don't know if I should say your last name, Andrew, but Andrew, I think you've sent me stuff before. It's deeply appreciated. I appreciate it so deeply, folks, when you all send me music. Thank you so much, I like it even better when you get it right. Like this package. Andrew, you sent me some wonderful stuff. To start with, he sent me this cassette that I did not have. Dagmar Krause. Tank Battles, the songs of Hans Eisler. I haven't played this yet. But you all know who Dagmar Krause is. She was in Slap Happy, Art Bears, some solo stuff that's really good. An amazing voice that, you either love it or hate it. Also happy to say that Dagmar is a friend of mine on Facebook. And we do chat a little bit. I tried to get her to do a Zoom interview for the channel, and she said, I just don't do interviews. No, thank you. But it's nice because I'll just look on Messenger, and there will be a little hello from Dagmar Krause. It means a lot. Yeah, still sitting out. Speaking of that, I'll get to the present in a second, but I don't want to forget because little things happen. So, Facebook and social media can be quite the quagmire, but I enjoy it because it's a connection to people. I get up this morning and there's tons of happy Merry Christmases from people, all over the world. I noticed one from Edward Caspell from Legendary Pink Dots. Now see, I've gotten a few other minimal contacts from him on Facebook over the years, but the Merry Christmas this morning was a real nice surprise. It prompts me that he probably remembers me. We met years ago when they played in Omaha. I let him know it was too cold. I wanted to come see you, but it was too cold. I love that. He remembers me. So I am going to see if he wants to maybe get on here and talk a little bit. Legendary Pink Dots. That would be interesting to hear his story, huh? Wouldn't it? It would. Excuse me. So, back to Andrew. Real pleasant surprise. And it warmed the heart of my friend Blake. Because Blake's been over here several times when the mail comes in. And he's been here several times when I've received records to review. And just records people have given to me. And it blows his mind. He was kind of going on about it yesterday. But we listened to some of the music. I love it when people send me real music. I, like anyone else, enjoy entertainment, but I like real music. And so, Andrew, thank you so much. Sending me this New Zealand music I didn't know anything about. That's another thing. I do like learning about music. I don't know everything. How could I? So, I now have David Downs' The Rusted Wheel of Things. And this came out under a different title since then. And I just sampled this, but I love this already. And this is the one that I played while Blake was here. And we both got off on it because it starts off really organic. That's the way I'll put it. And then as I was listening to the intro, I was waiting to see if it was just going to be an organic intro into some kind of commercial sounding regular music, and it wasn't. It was like, oh, this is what this is. Nice. David Down, The Rusted Wheel of Things. New to me. Thank you, Andrew. Also new to me, a band called Jakob. And right away, I like the graphics, okay? That's one of the things about music and art is that there's the mainstream of things that we always hear about where you kind of assume, this is how me growing up, through the 60s and stuff, and it was all kind of new still. It really did seem like the world of art and music was this rare air that not everyone could be a part of. And that if it wasn't on the radio, but you saw it in the record stores, it was subpar. It's just never been true. And I'm so happy I know that's the case. What I'm saying is this band, Jakob, Signs is the release. That's a very intriguing cover. I only listened to a little bit of this. And it's like, okay, I'll have to get back to this. This is like, okay, I can see where there's something going on here. I've forgotten what it sounds like already. But he sent me also this, thank you, Andrew, for sending me this CD single by Gordon Haskell, who passed away not that long ago, a singer who came to my attention through being on the King Crimson album, Lizard. But I also have Haskell's album, It Is and It Isn't. I quite like it. This is a bit slightly country, very commercial in its production, super slick. He has quite a voice, though, and so I appreciate getting this very much. Gordon Haskell. Everybody Wants to Go to Heaven. Pretty cool. He also sent me a sampler. I like the graphic right away. Dirt Beneath the Daydream, a collection of sound from Aotearoa, New Zealand. I just got started on this last night. I liked everything. I barely got into it. It's like every track was interesting and not commercial music. Everything was hitting me like art and real expression, which is what I'm really drawn to in music, is true expression. So this is pretty cool, nice addition. And I was unfamiliar with any of the names on here, looking at them. But that doesn't mean that I'm not familiar. I have to, again, get into this and then do a little research, and chances are I've heard of some of those folks. He also sent me a Sigur Ros EP from their first album. This is a reissue, but it's done nicely like the first version on that nice paper. And I still have, however you say it, however you say the first album, its title. Very nice. I've seen Sigur Ros in concert. They're the kind of band that, almost a lot of their music sounds the same to me, even though it's different. So I don't listen to them much, but I keep the records, and I do like the music a lot. Saving the best for last. 3 more. So he sent this to me, and inside of it was this CD, a burn of McKenzie Theory. Now, I don't want to misspeak because I don't want to get them mixed up with this other band called something like Mr. McKenzie or something, where I think Shirley Manson was involved. I haven't played this yet, so I'm looking it up right now. And it's a prog rock jazz band that I haven't heard. So this one I haven't played yet. And it's not the Shirley Manson Goodbye Mr. McKenzie. That's what that other band is. So thank you again, Andrew. This is going to be something new, like the other stuff I've never heard. Thank you. The other thing I like about receiving music from all over the world is because I'm receiving music that I would never hear otherwise. A lot of this music never gets distributed here in the Midwest, Nebraska, because it's so conservative. And people lose money. They'll be trying to distribute their stuff and get it out to the distributors, and this cool stuff will get to the record stores, and it'll just sit here in Omaha because nobody knows. So I appreciate getting a chance to hear this stuff. These are the last 2 that he gave me. Really happy with these. Didn't know this artist. David Long, Cross Creek. Looks like by the spine, this is out of your personal collection or someone like this because it's creased and it's been played. And this is fantastic. Again, I just listened to a little bit, but it starts off wonderful with tuba and emo guitars and not sounding regular. Just like, oh, I'm ready for this. Look at that beautiful cover. That's just what I like. That is just what I like. Thank you so much. And then the best thing that he sent me, and we listened to the whole disc with me and Blake yesterday, because Blake was blown away. I had already turned him on to Magma, but he's hardly heard Magma, and I didn't have this. Thank you, Andrew. 1971 concert, Brussels Theater. This is Dynamite. Blake is a horn player, and he was getting knocked out at the solos and also the blast of the horns throughout. This is back with the original Magma with Klaus Blaskis, Teddy Lasry on sax, Yachko Sepper on sax, Francois Cahen on piano, Francis Mose on bass, and of course Christian Vander. This was sparks flying the entire time. This is fantastic. My God, Andrew, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. I greatly appreciate the music and the love. Thank you for all the Merry Christmases and the, I'm not going to respond to each one individually in the comments. Thank you. I've received a bunch, and I feel the love and appreciation, people. I really do. I do. And I want to encourage it. Do it, people. Spread it. Be positive. Be loving. Be loving. It was amazing. You know, there was one ridiculously selfish, thoughtless comment that I deleted yesterday with regard to my comments about racism. You know, I'll just continue to speak. Might speak louder as a result of that ignorance. It's, you know, it's really uncalled for and it's really juvenile, and people need to be put on notice. And it's like it's time for you all to grow up and become a wiser and kinder. Your meanness and yours it doesn't help anybody. I'll go a little bit further. A few records still sitting out from yesterday. Thrack by King Crimson. Interesting phase of the band. This to me is a rhythm and texture record, just like the cover, the texture. It's a rhythm and texture record. There are a few cuts on here where it's like where Adrian Belew's songs. It's like, this don't belong here. This is Robert Fripp just letting King Crimson be King Crimson, and he doesn't know what it is. And there's parts in there where it's like, that to me is a part of King Crimson I don't particularly care for. It's like some kind of slower, almost love song, sort of. I don't know the name of it. But otherwise, this was quite enjoyable. I love the rhythm and texture aspect of it, okay? Played this for the holidays. I just bought it at Records Black Friday. Peace on Earth, Little Drummer Boy. And it's a lovely color vinyl. And it's a beautiful, wide cut 45 RPM. It didn't necessarily need it because it sounds like the signal of this is from the TV broadcast. Excuse me. When I first posted this in some music groups, of course you had the snoots who said, oh, there's much better recorded versions here and you should get that. And it's like, how many times the hell do you think I'm going to listen to this song? I don't care. That's a nice artifact. It's a pretty vinyl. That'll do for me. That's why I made that comment I did yesterday about jazz. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of modern, younger collectors of jazz, in particular people who are trying to get all the tone poets and stuff. It's like it's an endeavor. You're not listening, or are you? Are you? I say that because there's a lot of jazz that's really good that never gets talked about, and it makes me wonder, how much are people actually listening? Okay. This got played twice yesterday because I just love it so much, and Hosono is such a badass. Omni Sightseeing. This is not a Christmas album, and yet there's aspects of the way that this comes off that's kind of goes with Christmas. Just the feeling. If you haven't heard this album by Hosono, it's like it says, the Globe Watch Tour, conducted by Haruomi Hosono. You know, and it's recorded from Tokyo to Paris, sung in English, French, and Arabic. This is badass. Highly recommend this. Get it. Seriously. And then I don't play this usually at Christmas time, but this time I did. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence by Ryuichi Sakamoto. Sakamoto is on my mind a lot. I really am hoping that somehow the cancer can just go into remission. It still could. This is beautiful and also sad and tragic sounding at times. He really is good at soundtracks. I've listened to several interviews with Sakamoto, and he's talked about how difficult he's gotten a lot of soundtrack work, but he's said it's some of the hardest work for me because it's like I have to try to think for someone else for what they want. He does a damn good job of it. And that's why it's so hard, because he tries so hard. I also have this version of it. I had pulled that out too with David Bowie on the cover. What else did I play yesterday? A couple more things. Fuzzy Duck. someone was showing this in a group, and I said, I hadn't played this in a while. This is real good. Heavy rock, prog rock. English band, I think, 1971. The band has a nice propulsive forward motion on every song. They play like they're really into it. And they sound really good, and it's interesting that they only made one record. This is like really strong. Really strong. No direct comparisons, you know. I mean, it's like in that area where you have bands like Traffic and stuff, but these guys are more hard charged than that. So see, they have their own thing. Fuzzy Duck. I love that goofy cover too. And then Slowdive. Slowdive, the band that's called shoegaze, but to me they're much more than that. There's a majesty about this music. In particular on here, the song She Calls is, to me, one of their masterworks. It just soars, and yet it's also very rough. It's like they barely have control of the sound of the guitars. It's almost out of their control. But they're trying hard, and it's climbing. The sound and the feeling is climbing the entire time. It's one of my favorite. People ask me all the time, what is your favorite? And see, the thing is, when you ask me, I get a brain freeze. But while I'm flowing, if it comes up that it's a favorite, then I can say it. But if you ask me, it's like I just go blank. This is a favorite Slowdive record, Morningrise. She Calls. It's just fantastic. So, one last time. Spread love. If you're lacking love, ask for what you need. People don't read minds, and they've been talking about it in the media. You know how the media trends things, and the big latest trend in the media to discuss is the rise in anxiety and the rise in people being isolated and people spending less time with friends. It's all probably true, but the way that the media portrays it, I don't think is healthy or helpful. So what I want to say is, if indeed you are experiencing isolation or feeling more cut off, do something about it, okay? We're all just people. And even if we're not, we're just people. So reach out. I found this to be true my entire life, that, you know, you get what you give. You do get burnt. You know, not everybody is cool. But it seems that the majority of human beings are dying for positive connections and communications with other humans. And so go to the store, restaurant, gas station, whatever. You know, chance encounters with people. I'm friendly. And I find that people, it just happened the other day. It's like people catch my eyes. I think they see my eyes, and they think I'm a friendly person, which I am. And so they approach me, you know. It's a compliment, actually. So spread. If you got it in you to share, please share. We need the positive. We need the positive energy. Something terrible these days, okay? Merry Christmas.